So I'm going to show you exercises that you can do at home without bands. All you need is a doorway, because I get asked a lot, well, Dr. Tam, if I'm on a trip, if I'm out and about, I don't have my bands, I don't have a table, how do I do stretches? So I'm gonna run over a few stretches that you can do sitting, few stretches that you can do at a doorway from now on, okay? So let's get started. The first one that we're going to do is we're going to work on from top down, right? So as we look at the whole neck and shoulder, one of the best stretches to do is, and you want to warm up first thing in the morning, just really warm up your shoulders, do arm circles, go forward and go backwards as well. But for your neck stretch, one of the best things that you can do is actually take this hand, run it through here, okay? And then you're going to take your head and just pull it slightly to the side, just barely enough pressure, as long as this hand is over here, because you're pre-stretching the shoulder and you're tilting your head slightly right there. And you want to hold up to 30 seconds. The other side as well, you put this hand over here and you're going to pull. And you can see how my hand is over here because you're pre-stretching the shoulder already and you're slightly tilting your head. Now the next thing you're going to do is you want to work on the shoulders. One of the best things that you can do for your shoulders is actually stretch. A lot of times when we're at a desk, usually our arms are in front of us. We're driving, the arms are in front of us. Everything that we do, our arms are in front of us. So these muscles along the shoulders and pecs are really contracted. What we have to do is we have to stretch them out. Now, one of the best things that you can do on a doorway is actually put your hand on the doorway like this, and then putting the same side, the same foot forward, and you're leaning forward. As you lean forward, you're gonna feel this massive stretch over here. And if you increase the height of your arm, you'll also pull forward as well. And you're gonna stretch a little bit lower on the pecs. You could do both sides at the same time or do one at a time, okay? Now the next thing we want to do is stretching the shoulders as well. Now for the shoulder stretch, the shoulders can come up this way, it can go back, it can go to the side. I mean, there's so many ways to stretch your shoulders. So this is part one, pecs and shoulders as well. Part two is actually putting your whole arm up here and then just leaning forward. When you put your whole arm up there and leaning forward, that's gonna stretch the whole joint. Then you get asked, well, how do I stretch the other parts? It's actually really easy. You wanna stretch the shoulder and the internal rotation as well. So what you do is you can see me grabbing one end of the doorway, and as I grab one end of the doorway right here, I'm just going to lean in this way. And as I lean in, I'm forcing this shoulder in like this and stretching that part of the shoulder. And then to stretch the other way, you put your arm out the other way and you're going to pull this way as well, right? So that's how we can stretch the shoulders. Now, another way to stretch the upper back and shoulders is you can grab the doorway this way and then lean back like this, leaning back this way, okay? And that's gonna really stretch this area right here. You switch sides and you grab the doorway this way, and now you're stretching the shoulders a little bit different. This one's a little bit lower. Whereas if you grab it this way, it's a little bit higher. So you can do that to both sides, right? You stretch it over here, and then you stretch the other side this way, and then you go the other way and do the same thing. And that itself will stretch a lot of the upper body as well. So you can do this when you're at home. You can do this when you are out and about. Now, how do you stretch your legs when you are on a trip, right? So to stretch your lower back, what you could do is lower back and hamstrings a lot of times need to be stretched, okay? Especially if you're doing a lot of sitting on a plane or in a car, and you can just lean forward and stretch this way. You can open up your legs a little bit wider and get more support and stretch that way as well as you feel your hamstrings. To stretch your glutes, you can also sit down on a chair, right? As you sit down on a chair, you can grab one knee right here, pull it towards this shoulder, and now you're going to be stretching the glutes on this side. This is very similar to the exercise that we show our patients where they're laying down. That's one. Another one is you keep the knee in this position and you're actually keeping your back straight, you're leaning forward. And all I have to do is lean about this much and I'm already feeling a stretch. You don't have to go all the way down, right? As long as you keep your back straight. See? While you're sitting, you can also put one leg forward and stretch your hamstrings as well. So you're able to stretch that, okay? And lastly, to stretch the inner legs or inner thigh as well, you can go this way and just open up your hips like that, okay? So these are ways that you can stretch while you're out and about or away. You don't have to necessarily need TRX bands in order to do your stretches, right? You also can stretch your calves. It's really easy, just like this. This is part one of a calf stretch where the leg, if it's my left leg, the left leg is completely straight, okay? And then also the other part is stretching a little bit lower in the Achilles. You put this foot further forward and you bend at the knee, keeping the foot flat. And now you're gonna feel that stretch lower in the calves. So hopefully through these stretches, you're able to work on them, not only at home, but you're also able to work on these when you're away. So don't give me any excuses the next time you take a trip and says, oh, I didn't have a space to do my stretches. I just showed you everything that you can do without any equipment. We'll see you next time.